All right, welcome to the first video lesson for learning the trumpet. We're going to be working out of the Essential Elements for Band book, Trumpet Book 1. So the first thing that I want to go over are the parts of the trumpet. It's always good to know about all the parts of the instrument you're learning and all of their functions. So the first part I'm going to tell you about is the bell. This is the part that the sound projects out of. It's very important that you don't ever dent the bell when you're putting it down. I have a trumpet stand that I put my trumpet down on. I would recommend putting it down in your case if you have to put it down anywhere, just to protect all of the metal of the instrument. So next part is the valves. And the valves are what we push down to make our different notes. So different valve combinations create different notes on the trumpet. And below the valves, we have the valve casing. And inside there, we have more components to do with the valves that we won't get into right now. Now, there are 3 tuning slides on the trumpet. One is right here. One is at the back. And there's also one here that pulls out. So those are the tuning slides. Then we have the water keys. As we play the trumpet, we build up spit inside the instrument. So it's good to have a cloth on hand so that you're not dripping your spit onto the floor when you open up your water key and get your spit out of the instrument. So the way to do that is just to push the valve open, keep your cloth beneath it, and blow through the instrument. And do the other one. And then you're going to be able to release the water from inside your instrument. The next part, we have a series of hooks and rings, and these are used for holding the trumpet. So we'll get into the trumpet hold in a minute. Other than that, you're going to have the mouthpiece, and the mouthpiece is going to drop into the mouthpiece receiver here at the end of the trumpet. When you put your mouthpiece in, it's very important that you never whack it in, because what will happen is the mouthpiece will get stuck, and then it's very hard to get the mouthpiece out of the trumpet without a mouthpiece puller. So never whack it in. The way that we put it in is we just drop it lightly and a slight turn. That's all you need to do. So those are the parts of the trumpet. Now, before we get playing the instrument, I want to talk about posture and breathing. 2 very important things for anybody looking to play a new instrument. So when we sit down, we want to be sitting on the edge of our seat with our back straight, shoulders relaxed. Feet, you can't see my feet in the video, but my feet are flat on the ground in front of me. So now I'm ready to breathe. And when I breathe, I'm going to keep my shoulders and my whole body relaxed. And I'm going to breathe into my lower abdomen. And this is going to allow my diaphragm to expand, which is going to allow my lungs more space to fill. So we're trying to fill our lower abdomen when we breathe. So breathing in, big breath. And let it out with a tss sound. And when you get to the end, take another deep breath into your stomach and then try that a few more times. I'm not going to do it a few more times now. You can feel free to pause the video and practice that to yourself. It's always good to start with a few long breaths before you play the trumpet. Now we're going to talk about the lip buzz. Now the lip buzz is the essential sound of playing the trumpet. We might also call it our embouchure. So the embouchure being the lip position up to the mouthpiece of the instrument that produces the sound. So in order to create the lip buzz, we're going to pucker our lips slightly. We're going to keep the corners of our mouth tight, and we're going to release an air stream through the middle of our lips, and that's going to create a buzzing sound. It will sound like this. Try that a few times to yourself. You can pause the video now to work on that. Now that you've practiced that a few times, we're going to do it into the mouthpiece. So using just the mouthpiece, not attached to the trumpet, you're going to buzz and try to keep your tone consistent. Did it work? If not, practice a few more times without the mouthpiece. Sometimes it can be more difficult to make that buzz inside the mouthpiece than it is outside, and you just need to build up those muscles until they're ready. We need to learn how to hold the instrument. So we're going to take our right hand and we're going to make a C shape, and we're going to put our pinky into the top hook on the trumpet, and then we're going to take our ring finger, put it on the third valve, middle finger on the second valve, and first finger on the first valve. Then our thumb is going to tuck in behind on the hook that's attached to the back of the valve casing. So right hand looks like this. Okay, left hand is going to go on the opposite side of the trumpet. Now, there are a couple different ways that I've seen the trumpet held. Some use their middle finger in the ring, and some use their index finger. So whatever feels more comfortable for you is good. I'm going to use my middle finger. I'm going to tuck my thumb under the valve casing at the back of the trumpet, underneath. So our trumpet hold looks like this now. Okay. So looking at exercise 1 in the book, the first note on the trumpet is G. No valves are being pushed down. It sounds like this. Did your G sound like my G? If it didn't, you might be getting the note C. The reason that some of you will get the note C and others will get the note G is because of your embouchure. If you have tight lips and a fast airstream, you're going to get the G note. If your lips are too loose and your airstream is too slow, you might get the C note. Same valve combination, no valves pushed down, different note. So if you're not getting the G, try to tighten up your lips and a faster airstream. We're going to try exercise 1. It's a hollow note, so it's not filled in. It's an empty circle sitting on the second line of the staff. The second line of the staff is G. The hollow note is a whole note. That means that we're holding the note for 4 whole beats. So I have a metronome here. If you want to use a metronome at home, and I think it's a good idea, you go into Google search, type in metronome, and a plugin will pop up, and it's just a slider that you move back and forth to pick a faster tempo or a slower tempo. My tempo is set at 70 beats per minute, and I'm going to leave it right there. So a whole note at 70 beats per minute would sound like this. 1, 2, ready. So that was exercise 10. Feel free to pause the video, try playing that a few times, and then go back and play it again until it's perfect. Number 2, count and play. We're going to now play a quarter note on the trumpet. So a quarter note is a filled in note head with a stem, and it gets 1 beat. So a quarter note sounds like this on the trumpet. Let's try number 2 together, playing G for 4 quarter notes, and then resting for 4 quarter notes, and then playing G for 4 more quarter notes. 1, 2, ready. Did you get it? If you did, you're ready to move on to number 3. If not, pause the video and try it a few more times. Number 3, called a new note, requires playing F. So F is the first valve. We're going to use our first finger on that valve, and it sounds like this. Try producing that sound yourself. Now we're going to try number 3. We're going to play F for 4 beats, rest for 4 beats, F for 4 more beats, and then rest for 4 beats. 1, 2, ready. We're now ready to play number 4. Number 4 requires 2 notes, F and G. We're going to play them as quarter notes, and we're going to make sure to count the rests in between. Here we go, number 4. 1, 2, ready. At any moment, your lips might feel like they're getting numb or they're unable to produce the sound anymore, and that's caused by lip fatigue. So if you're experiencing lip fatigue, it means that your muscles are just getting tired and they need a break. So you can pause the video, do something else for 5 minutes, do something else for 10 minutes. Maybe you want to come back to it tomorrow if your lips are completely done. You're developing a muscle right now, and when you work out a muscle, it gets tired and fatigued, and then it needs to rebuild, and it will come back stronger the next day. So don't be discouraged if your lips get too tired to keep playing the trumpet today. You can always stop and come back tomorrow. We're going to move on to number 5 now. Number 5 requires a new note, E. E is produced on the trumpet by pushing down the first valve and the second valve. It sounds like this. Now we're ready to play number 5. We're going to play the E for 4 beats, rest for 4 beats, and then play the E for 4 more beats. 1, 2, ready. Let's move on to number 6. To play number 6, we need all 3 of our notes. Remember to count your rests. 1, 2, ready. Did you get it? If not, don't be afraid to pause the video, go back and practice it a few times. Now, if you've been watching the video and playing from the start, now is probably a good time to put the trumpet down for the day if you're an absolute beginner, because your lips are going to be exhausted. You can come back tomorrow and start the video from this point on. And when you do that, I'd advise going back and starting from the beginning and quickly go through all those exercises again. If you're okay to keep continuing, then let's move on to number 7. Number 7 requires another new note, D. So for D, we're going to push down the first valve and the third valve. Let's try to produce that sound. Make sure your D sounds just like my D before continuing. We're going to do number 7. 1, 2, ready. Now let's move on to number 8. It's always a good idea to read a piece of music before you play it to see if there's anything in the music that you don't understand and need the answer to before you try to play it. So when we look at number 8, we can see 4 Ds in a row. We know how to play D. And then we see an E, followed by 3 quarter note rests, followed by 4 Gs, and an F, followed by 3 more quarter note rests. So we do know how to play all of those notes. So we're almost ready to play. Take a look at the end of the piece of music, and we're going to see a double bar line with 2 dots in front of it. We haven't learned about this yet. This is a repeat sign. So anytime you see this sign, it means we're going to go back to the start of the piece of music and play it all over again. So now we're ready to play number 8, 4 by 4. Let's try it together. 1, 2, ready. Did you get it? If so, you're ready to move on. If not, try pausing the video and practicing it a few times and then playing it again. The last note that we have to learn is C. And C is the same as G. We don't push down any of the valves, but we need to change our embouchure quite a bit. With G, we had tight lips and fast air. With C, we're going to slow down our air and we're going to loosen our lips. So C sounds like this. If your C sounds like this, it's not actually C. You're still playing G. So remember to loosen off on your lips and slow down your airstream to make the C note. We're going to try number 9 now. Whole notes of the C note. 1, 2, ready. Let's move on to number 10. Number 10 requires all 5 of our notes. So make sure you read ahead. See if there is anything that's going to catch you off guard. You should know about all the notes in this piece, including the repeat sign at the end, and you should be able to play it no problem. Let's try number 10 together. 1, 2, ready. Did you get it? We're gonna stop there for this video. Make sure you're practicing this at least once a day for the next week. And after a week of practice, you should be ready to move on to something a little bit more challenging. We'll see you next time.